So for our Maki sushi or the Maki roll that we're going to be making, one of the most important fillings for it is a tempura red bell pepper. We're going to be using our pre-weighed out tempura for this. So what I'm going to do is open this up. I'm going to empty the contents of this bag into this bowl. But I'm going to be careful as to leave just a few tablespoons of it, just so that we can coat the red bell pepper into the dry tempura mix before it goes into the batter. So I have about enough, so I'm just going to go into the other bowl. That's done. And I have some very cold soda over here. You can use soda for any company, but what the soda does, it brings up all of that carbonation into the batter, and that helps you get that nice fluffiness in here as well. So I'm just going to whisk this all together until I have a thick but not too thick and not too thin of a batter either. So whisk. I'm going to see how my consistency there looks. Make sure that you get all of that tempura goodness into your batter. You can see already how nice and bubbly this batter is. That's exactly what you want. Make sure that there's no lumps in the bottom of the bowl. That's it. That is my tempura batter right here. To me, it looks slightly thin right now, because if I do that, it doesn't give me that nice stream. No worries, we have a fix for that as well. We just add a little bit of this guy and we are good to go. Alright, that looks much better to me. That looks much better to me. If you're making tempura at home and you're making it for a party and you don't want to get caught up into making the batter as you go, what you can do is you can make this batter beforehand and you can store it in the refrigerator on ice. The colder your tempura batter, the better it's going to fry and the better texture that it's going to have. So I'm just going to whisk this together, making sure that there's no lumps. That's done. I'm going to get rid of my whisk. And now is showtime. So I'm just going to take a piece of this bell pepper, coat it in some of the tempura batter, get rid of all of the excess. Dip it. And then we will fry. I'm going to repeat this process one more time before I go and move this guy around. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. I want it to be floating on top like this guy is. That's perfect right there. So now let's make sure that these aren't sticking to the bottom. This was the first one that we added. We just give it some more time to cook. You can always skim this excess tempura just so you know exactly what's happening in your pot. Get rid of this here. These are absolutely delicious, by the way. Do not throw them away. So two of these I can see right away that they're perfect. They have coating all over and they look like they're about done. We don't want to overcook the bell pepper either, because that crunch on the inside brings a lot of texture to the sushi, because there aren't many crunchy elements in the sushi itself. So from the tempura to the crunch of the bell pepper itself, it's very important. I'm just going to drain some of my oil and pull it out. So for our perfectly plant-based nigiri sushi, we're going to be making the topping using these gorgeous tomatoes. It's like magic what you can do with vegetables, and I'm going to show you exactly how. What we're going to do is we're going to peel and de-seed these tomatoes to get our perfect topping. And to do that, we'll have to take this core out. So insert your small knife and take this core out. And we're going to do a nice slit at the bottom. So you're just going to hold your knife all the way at the top like this, and we're going to do an X like this. Keep that there. Do the same thing with your tomato, other tomato. Get that core out and do our slit. Now we'll get our water boiling. Before you start, make sure that you have a bowl of ice cold water. You can also add ice to this if you would like, but this has to be ice cold water. So essentially what we're doing in this entire process is that we're blanching these tomatoes, and in the process, because of the change of the temperatures from boiling water to ice cold water, the skin is just going to peel off. You'll see the magic. So now that our water is at a rolling boil, we're just going to take our tomatoes and we're just going to add them. We're just going to have to move them around just so that the entire tomato gets all of this water. This will take about 2 minutes in the boiling water and then only 30 seconds in the ice cold water as well. Just have to move them around. You will see the peel coming off slowly from the bottom as well. That's when you know that it's done. As you can see right there, the peel has sort of come off. So I'm just going to do this for another 30 seconds and then we'll take it off. The tomatoes are ready to come out. Right in. Move them around. Move them around, get them cold, turn your boiling water off. Move them around, get them completely cold. As you can see, the peel's already sort of come off. Yep, there we go. And now, we will just peel it off. You can also use the help of your knife to get it from beginning right here and peel it all the way down. Like that. So this is a French technique known as concasse tomato. It basically means to peel and de-seed a tomato. So the next step into doing this is to cut this tomato in half and a quarter. That's good there. That's good there. Cut this in half and then another half right there. And then we're going to de-seed it. So in order to de-seed it, we have to go along the tomato. So I'm just going to take my knife and run it all the way along my tomato. There we go. That's a perfect piece of tomato, which sort of resembles tuna, doesn't it? Another one. So that is the last step of prepping all of our vegetables. Now we're really ready to get into some sushi action. One of the most important condiments when it comes to sushi is wasabi. Wasabi is actually the root of the wasabi plant, and traditionally it's grated on a very sandpaper-like texture into a fine paste. But since we can't find wasabi here in India, we've got you with this beautiful wasabi powder. I'm not going to take a sniff of it because I know that's going to be very, very stupid of me if I do. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this powder into my bowl over here. And begin adding my water slowly as I mix it. As you can see, this beautifully green wasabi paste is sort of forming. This is already way more than I will need, but you can obviously store it in the fridge for future purposes. So yeah, that's our wasabi. And that is the last step before we go into some rolling action. So let's go, guys. Let's go.